All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today's date is Tuesday, December the 6th, 2016, and the title of tonight's webinar is Look Left and Trade Right. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar. Other webinars we might have, our live trading room or anything else with Viper Trading Systems, should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? All right, I don't see any, so let's go ahead and get started. You should be able to see a chart coming up. And James, on your question, I'm going to answer that right away. How's that? Why did you guys come up with the trading on the 4 range? Any specific reasons behind it? And I would say that reason right there is this right here, lightning. Because lightning, you know, I mean, granted, these are swings, but we just decided to call it lightning, okay? But they're actually little thrusts and retraces, swings, okay? But that's exactly why. Now, what I've got here on the left is actually live data, but I went ahead and drew this just to make some points because we're going to trade this here in a few minutes, okay? And I want to show everybody how to see looking to the left to trade the right, okay? Now, what if you were looking at this chart like right now and you saw this happening in real time where, well, for one thing, this also basically did this, didn't it? You know, it came down to this line and then you came up and then obviously trying anyway to roll over. Now, let me ask you a quick question on this, and I'm going to just look at this for a minute right here. Looking to the left to trade the right, and you see that you have right now a lower high, okay? Look to the left, you're going to see a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high. So this is your identified swing on the left side, okay? Everybody sees that, right? But where is your identified swing on the right side, which is equally as important? And the answer on that one is it is right here as long as you have this lower high established, okay? So there's times you could take a short, to give an example, even if that midband is blue and sitting right here. If you're literally starting to break down and you know that if you break down here, you're at least going to 26 and maybe even, you know, 7 or 10 or something like that, then obviously you can take those trades even. And we do that quite a bit more in the room now than we ever did in the past. You know, but as a rule though, you want to stay as much on the trending side of the trade as you possibly can. Okay. Now to me, if this was to have a high here, a low here, a lower high, oscillate around in here, and then somehow start breaking over, where technically could you trade this trade? Okay. Where could you actually trade this trade? This is lightning 3 over here, but this is say lightning 1 or 2. It doesn't matter which one it is. It's just the smaller swings. So you have a low, you have a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Now what do you have? You got a high, a low, a lower high. So when does this actually change trends to the downside? Well, technically when you break that line it does, okay? But looking to the left to trade the right, you also want to look at that one, just in case. Because sometimes what they'll do is they'll do an A, B, C, and then they'll bounce right off the left side, okay? Now, if they break this one also, then more than likely they're coming down to here, or even possibly down into here, or even lower, okay? And that's what we're looking for. So with that in mind, what does everybody think about going ahead and placing some trades on a chart? Now you saw the one I did this morning in oil because I showed it, and I'm going to go over the reasons and everything of why, and that's what our webinars are about. Okay, so let me get rid of this chart for a minute. But before I do, does anybody have any questions on this? Because it is ultra important to your trading. It's probably, in my personal opinion, one of the most important things that you'll see in your trading is recognizing the three trends. Okay, so let's go to the actual chart. Now this is the actual chart, but it does not have bars on it. So I'm going to go ahead and take it down, and we're going to go into an actual chart. And now looking to the left to trade the right, what are we actually looking at now? Now notice that here a minute ago, this is all you could see on the chart because it takes a little bit for things to draw. Okay, see there, you've got a high, a low, a higher high. That is that exact chart that I just showed. Now you have a high, a low, a lower high, but when was this lower high established? This lower high was only established when it broke this low. Everybody see that? Now once it broke that low, let me get a dark blue in there. I didn't get it. Medium blue is good enough. All right. So when it broke this with a close of a bar, now I don't like a wick at all because see, you could easily bounce right there and just head straight on up. But once they start actually breaking down, you know, and taking out the previous swing, then you're looking for the retracement. Okay. So let me ask some questions because I'm not going to do this trade until y'all tell me where it sets up, because you got to be able to see it. Okay, even in real time, you know, obviously this is going to be in replay because, you know, this is morning trades. I wasn't up at 6 o'clock, so this is a trade that I didn't personally take, but I'll show you the one that I did. Now what I look at when I look to the left to trade the right is I look at these swings. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line right there because some of you are already saying that, and that's very, very good. Roger and several people that have answered that, that's exactly right. You draw them right there. See, because that's a swing right there, and that's a swing right there, looking to the left to trade the right. So if this retraces to where support was, and that's now resistance, wouldn't that be a decent trade on a rollover? Keep in mind it needs to roll over. Okay, so y'all got it right. So I'm going to actually do this. Now granted, it can go against us, obviously, right? Because you do have a little swing right here also. I'll draw another line right there. Okay, so anywhere in that little box with a rollover, I'd be ready to take that trade. Okay, and all you need to do to take that trade is fire up Object Trader. And this is oil, so about, you know, 2 or 3 contracts. It depends on what you really want to do. And then we'll just watch it. Okay, because I'm not going to take it until it at least gets up to predictor, which is this line at 29, or at this line, which is 26, okay, or if it gets anywhere near this and rolls over. Now let's watch and see if we get an actual rollover. Does everybody see this as a downtrend now though, right? Even our software is saying that it's a downtrend. You got your mid bands changed, your red background, you have a high, low, lower high, lower low, so you expect to retrace. What's meant by a rollover, Tom, on your question? That is actually, a rollover is just simply that we're waiting for it to come up to a predetermined area of resistance and roll over to the downside. Okay? Roll over usually, you know, always means, as a matter of fact, you're rolling over. Like, let's say that you're high and then you're rolling over. You're heading down. Now we're looking like we're going to get this trade. Let's see if we do. Got a little double bottom. We like to get the meter to go green if at all possible, which means if you have a low here, a high here, and a higher low, if they take out this swing, that'll change to green. And that's what we want it to do for a retracement. Wouldn't have taken a long, where now? James, on your question? Down at phantom, to give an example, yes, you could. But keep in mind, by the time it actually went to that bar up, you already had a magenta phantom. So usually when it changes the background and everything, the phantoms are less likely to work out. Okay? But if you take it based on more of a conservative way anyway, you wouldn't take it until it actually breaks back to the upside, right? And now that we've got resistance here and even here, we probably want to look for shorts because we've got a mid-band that is actually, well, the overall is short too. See it way over here? Big thrust down, retrace, higher low, higher high. That's actually your lower high. And then, of course, if they take some of these out, they'll take even these out. But one thing that you can usually do, though, is if you get these phantoms and they do change, they'll change the background a lot, the red background, but they won't change the midband. See how this one didn't change the midband? And you were still okay on a long one. This one actually changed the midband to the magenta color. So it's either a really deep retracement or we're going to get a rollover short. I'd be looking for that line right there for a rollover, but I will take a stealth type too. See it where it hits stealth here? Because we know resistance is at 26, and it'll usually get there within a couple of ticks. We'll see if we can get it. See how the meters turn green? Now that doesn't mean to take a long trade. Okay, that means that we're actually still looking for shorts based on the background and the midband. See if we can get something. And you've got to always predetermine about where you're going to take your profit on this also. Draw your lines on your chart down at the lows, to give an example. So I'd be drawing a line down here, right like that, and I'd be drawing a line down here, and I'd be drawing a line down here. So that's kind of where I expect it to go. That's really close to our resistance right there, 26. That's why we draw those lines in the room. Now, sometimes they will fake you. You know, this is one thing about 4-range bars. You can definitely get faked. Now, one way you can do this, if you don't want to take a shot at like 3, then just simply do like 1 until it actually makes like a little box and rolls over, which they'll usually do. See, there's the box right there. As a matter of fact, see it right there? You could actually box it right like this. Something like that. And if it breaks below that with the close of a bar, you know, let's say that you only had 1. Let's just take 2 of these off. Let's say you just started with 1. Then what you could do, obviously, if they do box in and break down, you're not as much at risk, obviously, right? Well, see, I missed it though. Should have boxed it with Object Trader instead. I think I'll take it anyway if that bar even tries to get up just a little higher. It's not going to. See, too late on that. Whoop, I accidentally hit it. Too late on that one, but see how it rolled over from there? Wow, I must have hit it twice. We'll go ahead and kill that. All right, see that though, where it just literally broke down, plus that's like a little trend line even, right? It's definitely not a bad way to trade. Now, let me ask you a quick question. Looking to the left to trade the right with what we just saw, now we're negative 70 because I missed that one, okay? But I can tell you this, if you look to the left to trade the right, you won't be that way for long, because I look to see where support is. Okay, right now support's at 10, right? See where it broke it? So what do you think? You think probably that 10 would be a pretty good area for that to pull back up to? Maybe even higher? Let's look to the left to trade the right and see if we can get something. Okay, they haven't checked right. That's a beautiful little predictor right there, by the way. They haven't checked here, so I'll draw a line there. They haven't checked here, so I'll draw a line there. We don't care about this one anymore. It's way down below it. All right, so let's see if we can get a trade on this little puppy right here. We're going to see if we can get something. And always watch for a predictor, because predictor draws at a good spot that you can normally just take to the bank with it. See if we can get something. Now, since we don't chase trades, we're not going to sell it down here, right? I mean, if this thing decides to just break down and keep on trucking down, I really don't want it. Everybody see why? I really don't want it there. Okay, let's see if we can get something here. It looks like we will. There's a little predictor up there at 20. Everybody see it? Exactly, that's right, Pervez, on your question. What they do is they check each one of these little lightning swings. You know, for instance, you've got, let me get rid of all the lines on the chart because we don't care about where it's going down. Let's look to the left to trade the right. Okay, right now there's a swing there. Thrust, retrace, thrust, retrace. There's a swing there. There's a swing there. They're minor. Okay, they're very minor, but they're still, if you draw lightning on it, they're still swings. All right, let's look to the left and trade the right also and see if there's any other area that we're looking at. Because we'll get something. This is what, 6:35 in the morning? We'll get us a nice little trade here in a minute. Predictors right there at 20. And you got a swing at 18. So I'm going to be looking for a retracement right up around this area right here to this little swing here to this little swing here. So let's see if we can get something. And I'm going to get that money back. We're minus 70. Got to get a little higher. It's right through stealth though. Everybody see that? That's good enough to me because it's coming real close to that predictor. And I expect a lower high. Now again, if that's a little gutsy for you, the way to do it's one contract. Okay? But we're in it, so we're good to go. We'll just wait. And of course, always looking to the left to trade the right. You want to get some of your targets out of the way. Go for the previous little swing. That's a scalp of about 9. Let's look to the left to trade the right. There's another swing here at 92 and 01. So since we've got one already there, we're going to bring one here, like so, and usually fade it a tick or two, okay, and then ride your runner. Just get it out of the way. And I always like to have exit on close myself, simply because I don't want to get wicked out of a trade. Now, anybody feel like you'd want to get out of this trade just yet? Because I don't. I've got a lower high so far. Everybody see that? Now, I do have on my little micro trend, I've got a little bit of a pull up, but that's what we expect it to do, right? On a retracement, we expect it to go green because it's totally only taking care of the little micro trend. That's what that power meter 1 and 2 are. So you expect them to go green. By the way, if you were just in one right now, what I'd recommend doing is getting ready to box it, because I see a little box forming. Do y'all? Y'all see a little box? Looks like it to me. Let's see if we can get a box. We may get a target first, but let's see if we can get a little box. See if that'll make us a little box that we can draw in. And let's just pretend, well, let's just go ahead and add one if we get a box. Hit our insert key. If they come up to midband, I'm going to add one. And if they break this little swing right here that they've just made, I'm going to add one. Okay? So I'll go ahead and turn on Object Trader, but I'm going to go 2. Now notice we're down 130 because of that first trade that I made that, well, for lack of better terms, made it at the wrong time because it didn't work out. And because I was trying to show if you wanted to do one contract instead of 3, and then I accidentally hit 3 twice, so obviously we had 7. The box is drawn, sure bet. See it? You can draw a trend line instead, absolutely. I want to actually add that to Object Trader to where we can do a ray and a box at the same time. So in other words, let's say that I wanted to do this trade. The minute it closed below the line, it would fire one. Let's say if it gets up a little higher, might even fire it in through here even, because trend lines are like that, right? But now the way this box is constructed, it's going to fire it right here. Now, is this a dangerous trade to add right here? And the answer is not really, because you're stair stepping. See your high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high so far anyway, right? And we said we're going to add 2. I'm going to go ahead and bring this down just a little bit more and get this one out of the way. Simply because we've got a low established now. We're going to see if we can get it. Like that. Woohoo! We're up. We're only down. Well, we're up 20 bucks. Now see, the way that region is drawn, it'll fire a trade if it gets up to the top and closes, or if it closes through the bottom. Getting a little sideways, aren't we? Now what you can do also if you want to, I'll show you how to do this in real time, because that trade that I showed this morning, that's resistance right there. You can actually short the top because that's still at that predictor. There we're in total of 5. Remember that trade I showed this morning? It worked out perfectly. Now, a safer trade, obviously, but keep in mind that if you break this, let's say, for instance, that I want to go ahead, well, you probably wouldn't with 5 on, but let's say that you did want to add anything right down here. When it breaks this with like the close of the bar, see, we could go ahead and add. With Object Trader, all you got to do is do it on the fly. Can you adjust the box size while active or green? No, but what you can do really quickly is you can go ahead and hit the enter key, and it'll turn gray, and you can move it real quick. That's something that we will probably add. Now, this is one of the reasons I don't like a close. See, it closed right on the box, and now it's got to close all the way down here before it's going to fire that extra contract. Watch it. It'll go to 6. As soon as the bar closes, if the bar closes. I'm almost positive it did because I showed that trade this morning in the room. Like I say, that's why, see there, 6. Now that's a bad trade in my opinion because you're literally selling it at the bottom. Went ahead and did it. Well, it turned out good though, didn't it? Okay. Now let me ask you a question on this. You're just heading down nice and big time, right? That turns out to be a pretty good trade. Where would you put your stop when this thing drops as quickly as it did? Well, let me show you a little secret to this. It's not really a secret because I say it in about every webinar. But see how these candles have all gone straight down? Well, you had one that kind of fired back up, but you haven't really established this swing yet because they haven't taken out this low yet. See what I mean with the close of the bar? So a lot of times in a case like that, put your stop just above the previous resistance, which could be right up here to give an example. That's where it broke down. See it right there? Or, you know, since this looks like it's breaking down pretty hard, you can always use stealth, but keep in mind that it could easily take it out too. Now we don't have a trail stop for stealth as of yet. We do have for the trend where you can actually choose. Let's say for instance, this is close to line 4. All I got to do is change that to line 4, trail enabled, engage trail, and it'll follow mid-band down. But if that was to retrace all the way from 83 to 07, that's 24 ticks times 3 contracts. That's $720. Everybody see why I probably wouldn't want to do that? You might want to do like line 3. That's 6 more ticks in my favor if that works. See there? Line 3. And line 2 is right here. And a lot of times, see, they'll take it out. So line 3 pretty much holding. So we'll stick with line 3. Now, does everybody see how to look to the left to trade the right on this? See, that closed below, so I would probably go ahead and move my stop a little bit tighter, like right there above that swing. Now, let's look to the left to trade the right and see if we can figure out the next trade. Let's look. All right, I'm going to get rid of all the lines. And now, don't look at your charts because this is from this morning, but where would we put another area that we would want to buy this to sell it? Let's say that you weren't even in the trade at all, okay? Let's just say that, matter of fact, let's just kill it for the fun of it. All right, we're dead, all right? Now, where is the next trade on this chart? I'm going to draw some lines and you tell me if they're good. All right, I've got a swing right across here that's resistance. I got a swing right over here to the left that's also resistance. See it? Right there. And I got there. So that's my 2 spots right now that I'd probably be choosing. And watch and see if predictor doesn't pick those same spots. Let's see, Gary, when I slide the boxes over to access that new trail, it won't slide back to the main screen. Am I doing something wrong? Well, all you have to do is this little deal here. See, that goes that direction and this goes the regular direction. Then you just click on target stop. So you just use those little arrows right there. Trail 1, trail 2, trail 3, and then the regular screen. Like that. All right, let's see if we can get in this trade. We've got our lines drawn, right? We know where resistance is. Mid-band, there you go. There you go. Got a swing right there at your predictor. So let's see if we can get us a trade. Want to see if we can get a trade? We'll do it. And then I want everybody in this room to tell me where the next trade is on the chart. Oh no, Jay, on your question, we're not looking very far at all to the left. We're actually looking at these lightning swings. I'm going to take this trade here pretty quick. Not yet. Just got to get at least to my line because that's resistance right there, right? 92. Let's see if we can get at least to 89 or 90. Exactly. And see what you're looking for. Absolutely, you're looking for short trades, right? because your overall chart is short, correct? Got our power meter green. That means we're retracing a little bit. And that predictor's saying right there at that line, didn't quite get there. I may have missed that. We're going to give it one more shot. Now, what could you do on this right now? What could you do? Draw your region, and I expect it to hit its head before that, so I'm going to short a touch +2, either in or out. So inside short, 2 ticks inside this range here, or 2 ticks outside the range, and what we'll do is we'll do 2 each time. See if we can get it. Does everybody see pretty much where your next trade's going to be anyway when they break it? Looking to the left to trade the right. That's going to trigger a trade. Short inside, 2 ticks. Not yet. If it blows through it, it won't fire. It has to be 2 ticks inside and a 3rd tick to register with Object Trader. See if I missed any questions here real quick. I use bar close mostly. Sniper, I'm going to get that one to where it'll be probably the best tool you'll have because it'll do an array or a straight line. But even if I draw a line like Sniper, if somehow it misses it, I'll be in the trade anyway because I'll just fire a market order if need be. All right, let's see where we're going. All right, we got 2 contracts. Let's go ahead and put one of them at the bottom. That's where we need it to be, right? You got resistance right up here at 98, so I would think they would hit their head at 98, so I'm going to leave my stop there, exit on close. All right, but didn't we say we wanted to add one? So let's turn the top one off, turn that one on, and if it touches 2 ticks below this swing, which I can actually do in real time, like so, and we'll add 2. There we go, we got 4. Okay, look to the left to trade the right, always. Get back over here to the right side again. Predictor's already showing up right here where I should take some profit. Now it may blow through it, and that's fine with me. But a real quick question on this chart, and with what I'm teaching tonight, where is your next trade on this chart? Anybody? Draw your lightning and I'll bet you see it. Okay, it broke support right here, didn't it? Okay, so if this doesn't thrust down a lot more under here, to give an example, wouldn't we expect it to actually retrace to resistance? Are you looking at a swing for a target? Absolutely. That's why I always draw on my charts to the left, because you'll find they'll bounce there. Exactly. There you go. Several people got it. Mark said pullback to 81 would be a pretty good area, wouldn't it? Now notice that I've still got 3 on, so where could I possibly put my stop? Well, we should hit our head at resistance, shouldn't we? Still heading down so far, so we're still okay. Now if this blows through here, my new stop will be at this swing. Everybody sees that, right? As soon as it forms lightning, when it takes out this low. So you've got a high, low, lower high, right? But it hadn't established its low yet. It's got to take that out. Right there where that line's at. we'll give it some wiggle room, let it do its thing. Does everybody see, though, why you should be able to see that next trade by looking to the left? Now, here's one caveat to that, though, I want to mention. That is when it's stair-stepping one direction or the other, up or down. When it quits stair-stepping, it's going more sideways, then you got to trade tops and bottoms, and Predictor will show you where those are too. But what I'm getting at more than anything is that once they break what we call micro lightning, they will go up a little higher and check those little bit higher swings. All right, does everybody see on the chart where the next trade is? If it acts like it's supposed to, that is. Because I see a breakdown right under here, right? So I'm going to draw a line like right there. And we did just get a lower high. See, it's established. So that's what we call our medium swing. If they'll close this, I'll go ahead and put my stop here, but they haven't closed it just yet. So I'm going to bring my stop to break even. See if we get a little, we're getting a little bit of a retrace, but that's okay. If it takes this out, I'll take it off the table and I'll go right back in. Now, does everybody remember the trade that was called when we opened the room? I'll show that one also, but I want y'all, that's an Oklahoma term. I want y'all to tell me where that trade will be. Okay? So at 8 o'clock, when we opened the room, I called a trade. We got it exactly, and I want everyone in the room to tell me where it's at, but we got to wait about, obviously, 30 minutes of trading first, right? We're going 3 times normal speed, so we should get there a little quicker. I'll speed it up to about 8 times. Now, I would probably, with this actually kind of double bottoming, you might want to protect your coin on that. You could always, we're still okay, but I would probably buy 2 to cover simply because of that double bottom right there. That way you don't give up, you know, the full 10 ticks or so when it comes up here to this resistance. Thrust, retrace, thrust. So here's resistance right across here. Okay, that should hold, and that would more than likely be a good place to add again. See it right there at resistance? Now I went ahead and added because, well, it worked. Everybody see why I didn't wait for the predictor even? That was resistance. They have to check. You'll be able to draw on your charts and you'll see that they will continually check these resistance areas. Now that's where I want you to tell me, and I already know where it's at because I can tell where they're getting ready to break. So where's your next trade on this chart, everyone? Watch and see if they break. That area right through here. That's support. If they break it, won't that become resistance? Let's just get this out of the way for now. We've only got 2 on, so that's fine. Everybody see that? How can you tell they're getting ready to break? Well, just the price action itself. See, you're getting lower highs and lower lows. Anytime they're stair-stepping like this, and I'm moving it about 8 times, so, you know, I've seen charts like this like literally 10,000 times. But I would be putting my stop just above that swing, just in case. Okay, but what do you think it's going to actually do? It's going to break. It's already breaking support. Okay, if you're a gutsy trader and you walked in the room and you saw this breaking support like this right here, let it break, come back up through, and roll over. And if it closes below it, that's a risky trade, but it's also breaking support. Okay, you could actually try that as long as it doesn't take out the swing that it just identified, which is right up here. See your little thrust, retrace, thrust, retrace, thrust. That's your identified swing at 77. but your support is right there at 65. Okay, see how they broke it? Now, if they come up and they take out micro, obviously this we won't add. See, we just, oh, we got it on region. We'll do it again. We might still get it. See if it'll pop up a little bit and then give us a bar rollover. There you go. We got 4. Okay, now, real quick. Anybody? We're getting ready to open. I open the room every single day at 7:55. Where's my trade on this chart? A safe trade anyway. Now, will it work out? We don't know, but we do know where support was, don't we? Exactly. There you go. Several people typing it in. So let me ask you a question. You weren't even up trading all this so far. Let's just close it out. Where's the next trade on this chart? Well, you got to let it break down a little bit first, obviously, because we just opened the room at 7:55. All right? And you want it. We're not chaser traders, right? We're retrace traders. So we draw on our charts. I'll draw 2 lines. I expect it to hit its head here at that swing, or I expect it to hit its head at 65 where it broke down through. And lo and behold, predictor's probably looking for that same trade. See if it prints. Look at that. Is that it? Well, we just missed, obviously. I drew the line perfectly. And I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time if the bar closes down. See it? Now, if you were what we call a safe trader, then what you want to do is you want to actually wait for the power meter to go red. But then you got to put your stop above. Watch now. See, it's red. That's fairly risky, right? Because your stop's got to be all the way up here. Or here at least. That's your lightning swing. Everybody see that? Okay, so where's resistance is right there at 65. They haven't taken out the low. So if they check 65 again or lower, remember in the room this morning I said if we get a lower high than that right there, that will roll over. There you go. You just rolled over. Everybody see that? And that trade was called live in the room this morning. And I'm pretty sure it dropped pretty well. Anybody remember? But let's watch and see. We still got 17 minutes left, so I want everybody in the room. There's a bunch of you in here, so let's all type it in, okay? If we get a thrust down, I want everybody to tell me where the next trade is on the chart. Where does everybody think? Well, I can tell you already. 47.48, right? Yeah, let's get rid of all the lines. Let's get rid of even lightning. We don't care about it all the way back. All right? Does everybody see you got support here at 47? All right, you've also got support here at 51, it looks like. About there. So see, you're always marking on your charts to see where the next trade will set up. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean that this trade that we're already in isn't going to work, because it looks like it is. And I'm pretty sure this morning it did. And of course, we would drop our stop, obviously, to the lightning swing. As soon as it takes out the low, you could go ahead and go with that lightning swing right there. See, a little thrust, retrace thrust. Got one left. But where's my next trade on this chart? Anyone? Anybody? Well, let's draw on our chart and see if we can figure it out. 47 to 50. There's 50. We just missed it, unfortunately. And that's all right. We just missed it. Let's see if we can get it again. Usually get an ABC. Not going to give us an ABC? Come on, give us an ABC. Get ready to take it if it takes out that little swing too. Yep. Didn't it go just almost right where I said it would though? So could that be a decent trade? Absolutely. It just hit right where we thought it would. We just happened to miss it because I got this going a little bit fast. That's doing it again. See it? Needs to hit 47. If it closes down though, I'll take it. I'd love for it to hit 47 though. That's perfect. Well, went a little higher. That's okay. You know where it's going, don't you? The other line we had drawn. Looking to the left to trade the right. We're still okay. Now, if you wait for this meter instead, watch. We're in 3 right now, but let's see if we can get a meter to the downside. And I'll sell it if it does. I'm going to slow it down too so we can actually get it like it was real time. The minute that meter goes red, see there, meter's red. Okay? What does everybody think about that? Now, let's go over something else too, though, because you've also got to look into the left to trade the right. You've got to know where this thing could reverse directions. Okay? Now, right now, let's just look at it and see where it could reverse. I'm going to just go ahead and kill this trade because we don't care about it. I just want to show you left to right. All right, right now, you've got a medium swing up here at 65. If they break 56, you'll have a medium swing here. Everybody sees that, right? I'll fast forward and see what it does. Okay, that's your medium swing, right? Everybody sees that, right? Now, if it takes out 52 to the upside, remember that in the room this morning? We talked about 52 in the room this morning. I'm just remembering trades that were actually called in the room because you've got to be looking at your charts to see what's happening. Thrust, retrace, thrust, retrace, thrust. Now, this is what I call a little bit more of a micro trend until it gets a number. Now, it won't get a number until the price action dictates that. Okay, watch it in real time and see if it doesn't get a number. Now, remember, we're not chasers, right? So if you weren't in this trade yet, what is your thought that you're going to do on this trade? You got to wait for a retracement, right? So we're going to look to the left to trade the right. We've got 47, but they've already hit it. See there? So they're not going to try that again. So if they break down hard, they might check 36, but we got to break down fairly hard for them to come back and check that. So let's see if they do it. And then we're going to draw a line right across here because that's what we call our lightning swing that would quit stair stepping. See your thrust, your retrace, your thrust, your retrace, your thrust. That's a nice swing. And this is about 8:31 in the morning. Now keep in mind that you could actually probably have gotten this trade long because the box would have drawn down in here. So see when that takes out that lightning swing like that right there with the power meter going green, I would probably take that because that was at the open of the market and you had a box there. But since we're showing more where to get in, looking to the left to trade the right, we'll kill that trade. But that would be a trade that I would take. And it also bounced off predictor too. Okay, so what is it going to take to change trends on crude? It would take taking out 52, right? And one thing you want to look for too when you're trading like this is you want to look for how many thrusts they've had. See, basically they had 1, 2, 3. So you've had a good thrust, a retrace, and a thrust. So you've had your 2 good thrusts, in other words, leg 1, 2, and 3, right? Leg 4 is a little bit more of retracements and things like that, and we'll see if we can get something. Break 52 and come back and kiss 52 is the best way, absolutely, if it changes to that. Now keep in mind there's also another trade on this chart too, isn't there? Let's look at it. There's a swing right there at 70, which we have not tested, by the way. See the breakdown? We have not tested that. That would be a phantom trade. Okay. If you did break 52, you could obviously go long. You know, we talked about this trade this morning in the room. Wait for the power meter to go red before you short it. And let's see if we can get something. Now, we had a short going here, remember, where this 52, I just turned that one off a little bit ago. But remember this morning in the room, actually had a reversal sitting there because we were still in a trade. So we're going to go ahead and fire it if it breaks 52. See it breaking? Now, you put your stop pretty tight, obviously. Okay, but where's our resistance on this chart? It's up at 70. Now keep in mind the only reason that we actually took this trade is because it broke what we call the medium trend. Okay? And I felt a little bit of heat on it first, but it came up beautifully to resistance up here at 70-ish, if I remember right. And of course you could put your stop just under there. And you'd get ready to short this thing when it goes up and kisses 70. Or wait for the power meter. And there's your little short. Probably should take some profit because it's bouncing off 52. So I'm going to actually reverse that at 52. See how it bounced right there? Right off 52. And let's see if we can go a little higher. We'll just get that out of the way. And then you got you another decent little trade bouncing off 52. We called that in the room this morning too. That's the one Charles got. I got this one also, but we got the 52 where it came perfectly back to 52 and bounced. Now this is actually a phantom trade now with your mid band like it is. Watch, and that's also a white predictor. Why didn't that sell? That should have sold. Well, it didn't sell, so we'll wait. I may have gotten Object Trader out of kilter with market replay. We'll find out. But I would still personally sell this because this is not an uptrend yet. Everybody sees that, right? It's not an uptrend yet. And you can always wait for it to break lightning. Yeah, we had that long position on, remember, Peter, this morning in the room? You can actually hit the reversal button. You can actually, hit it with exit on close for a reversal. Okay, I got a target right over here. Looking to the left trade, well, for some reason, I was moving it evidently. That's okay. We only had, that's right, we only had 7 and 10, so now we'll see if we can get something else here. Still looking for shorts so far, right? And you could actually trade it both ways, but keep in mind that that was a pretty good little trade that's set up there. Now I'm going to take it only if we get a little lightning action. Look to the left, trade the right. Where are they trying to go? They haven't gone here yet. They haven't gone right across here. So you got to swing there and you got to swing there. The reason I'm doing that is because it's doing just what I want it to do. Everybody see that? It works out pretty good. Looking to the left to trade the right can absolutely change your way of trading pretty well. And then move your stop just above lightning swing. Everybody sees why that was taken right. That's your phantom trade. And looking to the left to trade the right, they're still not heading up just yet. Now when they do this where they start breaking, they come back and kiss, okay, a lot of times that could be a reversal, but we don't know just yet. We've got support right down here at 36. And when it's trading sideways like this, you definitely want to take some coin if it gets down to any type of support levels. What in the world? Okay, because you don't have blue sky anymore. So what are we looking for? Well, they bounced off of here. See it right there. Your next place is right there. They've already hit it. And then your next one's right there. And so far, it's still doing the old lightning dance down. You're getting lower highs and lower lows. Does the phantom trade always have a predictor associated with it? Well, they can also have it where it blows through the phantom too. Okay. Now let me ask a quick question. Let's say that you walked in the room and you don't even have a trade on yet. All right. Judging by the same way we just talked, where is support on this chart? What's right there? And it's right there. Wait for a thrust, a pullback, and a kiss, and a rollover. Still looking shorts. Hasn't changed yet. The background is green, but the midband is still rose-colored. Now, if they were to break to the upside, they'd have to take this out. This is the way I would look at this trade. If they break this right across here, like this, and come back and kiss it, then we'd be heading up. Okay? If they break this and come back and kiss it, we'd still be looking shorts, right? So let's see which way it does. Both trades. You're ready on the chart to take either trade because you're just going sideways. There it broke down. So we're looking for what? A retracement into like 48. Like I say, you're not even in a trade yet, so we're looking for the optimum spot to get in. And watch and see if it doesn't thrust down, retrace back to resistance, and roll over. Because they usually do. Now, if it doesn't, the trade won't work out, but we don't care, do we? We just simply want the trade because we're looking for a retracement. Looking to the left to trade the right. See your lightning, thrust, retrace, thrust, retrace, thrust, retrace. Same high there, thrust. That's resistance and that's resistance. And by the way, you can also take this phantom to the upside if you want, but I'd highly recommend just doing like 7 ticks or something like that because it's bouncing off of support here. See it? And you try to get up to here. See why I did that? But I'm not going to show as much counter trend trades. We're going to watch for the retrace. Now, does everybody see what this would take for this to change to the upside, right? You bought this today at 32 when it came back down but didn't hold it. Still struggle with staying in and riding it. There's your perfect trade to the downside, by the way. Everybody sees it, right? 48-ish. Should hit its head and roll. No higher than there. Lightning swing. It's holding. We'll be in it if the bar closes down. There we are. All right, so they already hit here, but I only have one set of contracts, so unfortunately I'm going to have to take my profit down here because I don't have a second target unless we want to go ahead and do it again and try to get down to here. Okay. Buying that at 32 at the bottom, though, was I would say would be pretty sharp. Here we go. Got us a target. Now, when you start chopping around like this, if you want to, you know, I highly recommend just scalping it. But if we get like a green power meter, we already took our profit. So where's our next trade if we break down? All right, if we break down, it's right here. You would wait for a thrust and a pullback, right? Not just a little thrust like that. That's a very risky trade. And if it breaks to the upside, you can watch the power meter because it'll do lightning, thrust, retrace. There's your little retrace bar getting ready to happen. Not yet. If it closes up, we'll have to wait for a down so that we can see when it changes. Lightning will not change until you get a little zigzag. Went up, so we got to have a bar down. We'll see if we get a bar down. If we don't, then guess what we got to do? We got to wait for it to break. Do you see another trade on the chart? I do. See your resistance, thrust. Be patient. Retrace. Thrust above resistance. Pulls back into support. And you can always do like 1 and go for like even say 20. Whoop, that didn't work. Do like 20 on here. But we got to wait for the pullback, right? We've had our thrust. Now let's see if we get a pullback. Now keep in mind, could you have actually taken that trade there? Yes, you can. Because see, that had a low, a high, a lower low, and that was resistance. So it just blew up through it. It didn't give you a little zigzag. But if you chase them, I promise you they'll come back on you. Watch, if we hit to buy this, I'll bet you, well, let's just do it. We'll just hit buy and watch it retrace on us, just sure as the world, because that's what they do. They'll fake you into a buy when you should be waiting for the retrace. I did that on purpose. See there what I'm talking about? Just when you think you should get in going up, they pull back on you. So don't do that. We're waiting for right there. Is that the algos are just programmed to reach? You know, sure bet on your question, I absolutely think that with the 4 range bars and what we've been able to discover with Viper for the last 9 years, that's exactly what they do. Those algos are watching for that. Resistance, or support, was resistance, wasn't it? Now, was that a gutsy trade? Yes. See, but it's bouncing right off resistance. All right. What would be a little bit safer trade? Well, wait for the lightning to actually change and see if we can get a lightning change. We probably will. We need a little candle down if at all possible. If we don't get it, you're not getting your little zigzag. Everybody see how that perfectly came there? That's how we draw those lines in that room all the time. And that's how we get these nice monster trades, because we actually call them out in real time. So on the same analogy, where's the next trade on this chart? You want to see? All right, let's look to the left to trade the right, just like we always do. I'm going to draw two lines. There would be one. There would be the next little swing. See it? Thrust, retrace, thrust, retrace. So looking to the left, that's the left side of the chart. That's where we would expect it to come to, right? But we got to have a little thrust up first. We haven't had a thrust up yet. You want to see if it did it? You want to see if it did it? We'll find out. Now, if it breaks this, it's going to come back to 70 even. Let's see what it did. I'll do the trade in real time. We'll find it. Okay, it broke up. Let's slow it down a little bit. All right, let's draw on our chart. Look to the left, trade the right. Anywhere between those two lines right there, I'm going to fire a trade. I'm going to see if it does it. Don't chase. We're already in two. You could always take one off, if they happen to even close down. Just in case. Watch the bar. Now I'm going to turn it on. See, because that bar went down. If that bar goes down too, we'll get out of one. But I'm going to get right back in if it comes down to 70. Why would 74 not be a line? Well, it would be also. But looking straight to the left, though, keep in mind that these are two swings right here. This is also a swing right here. Okay? But when they broke up, they haven't even zigzagged toward this yet. So I would be looking for here. Well, actually, you could draw three. I'd draw this like this. And then this like that. And predictor's saying 70. See there? So we'll skip that one. No, I didn't get it. I turned it off, didn't I? We'll turn it back on. Hopefully that comes down first, because they usually give you a fake bar first, but this one may not. Yeah, it is. That's good enough. Bar close to the upside. And there you go. Now, what's the safest way to get in this trade? Well, looking to the left to trade the right, we're already in three, but let's just say you weren't in any just yet. Does everybody see a box? Right like that. Isn't actually breaking the box. I'd expect it to at least go up to here and probably predictor. Like that. And if it doesn't, then guess what? It will stop you out. Let's see if we can get those. And oh wow, we're running 9 minutes over. Does everybody see, by watching tonight though, how to look to the left to trade the right? A lot clearer all the time, right? Always look to the immediate left first off, especially if they do these huge moves up with no retracements. They're going to come back and check support. Okay? Look to the left at your swings if they break out pretty profusely. If they came down and let's say they oscillated around this area right here and then they decided to break up, I'd probably even take that one. But to be more sure on your trade, you can always wait for that meter to turn green. Like say we're in two of them right now. If it closes above our box, buy two. See what I mean? And then I'd put my stop just under the swing right there. Okay? And you've also got to know where on your chart is it going to change more than likely directions. Okay? You've got to know that. Because as they do these thrusts up and retrace and everything, you got to know where they're coming back down to. You know, for instance, we haven't even had a mid-band trade on this shit just yet. So I draw on my charts. And even though I'm in this trade right here, I'm going to look a little bit to mid-band even. We haven't been to mid-band yet. Let's look to the left to trade the right. Mid-band is not anywhere near anything else, but you do have a swing right here that's really close to mid-band also. So I'd be looking somewhere down in here for another trade, actually, and probably even down at mid-band, because they usually, when they change those backgrounds, they will come to mid-band. Let's just see if they do, and then we'll wrap it. I'm going to speed it up to 500 so we won't catch it, but there was a trade right there. There's another trade right there. See it? Right at mid-band. Safer trade, obviously, is wait for lightning to break. See there? Right when it breaks lightning. Still worked, didn't it? Just got to look to the left to trade the right. Draw on your charts and you'll see trades all the time. Let's see. First time in the mid-band is about 85% probability, Mary, on your question. It's not a bad trade at all. By the way, where is support on this? Right here. You did get a higher low right there so far, didn't you? I'll bet you it breaks back to the upside. Watch it. See there? You can just tell what they're doing. See, they came down and gave you a higher low, and it was just obvious what they were doing there. When that meter went, jump in. All right, thanks everyone for coming. Tomorrow's oil inventory day, so we're going to do some nice trading tomorrow too. 500 times is tough. See how fast that moves? All right, thanks everyone. Have a great evening, and I'll get this posted. Bye, everyone. Yeah, that's the whole thing, D, on your question. You've always got to be looking at your chart for where is the next trade. You know, because looking to the left to trade the right is probably one of the most important things a person can learn. Now, would they always be right on the money where you want them? No, but keep in mind that when you look at trades, let me just back this up a little bit. Isn't this what they all do? See, that's real data. See that? Lower highs, lower lows. And then all of a sudden, what do? They break resistance, 52. We called that out live in the room. What did it do after that? Headed up, came back down and tested 31, higher low, busted back up above 52. See what I mean? And then they just keep checking it. And then they go, that's where you're at right now, 5104. But isn't that now an uptrend from where it went down here with your low, your high, your higher low, higher high, and then you started getting some retracements, but they're still getting higher lows. And they seem to be just still heading up, at least into about 1 o'clock anyway. All right, everyone have a great evening. Thanks. And Phantom's about 85% also, Mary, on your question. And the way I look at Phantom is if they haven't broken mid-band, or pardon me, mid-trend, which is your lightning 3, by very much. Okay, because if they've broken it, and you can still take them though, just simply wait for it to hit it and then roll over. Rollover is the key to it. All right, thanks again.